What if all Trump supporters pulled their money out of the bank? Now that would be a massive conundrum. The con game comes to an end. What's going on, guys? Brandon here. History beginning to rhyme, not repeat. And please, the algorithm hates truth, so please share any video that has signal in it, any blog you find, anything you find, anywhere. Please share it out. We have a duty to share out truth and an alternative narrative from what the mainstream is propagating and the propaganda that is constantly being blown onto us from every angle. We must do our duty as moral, ethical, upstanding, God-fearing people to spread truth. History beginning to rhyme, not repeat. In recent times, just the last 3 years to be specific, we've witnessed the President of the United States being censored and removed from various social media platforms. He was even banned from using payment platforms such as PNC, Shopify, Stripe, etc. We have seen nuclear superpowers frozen out of the legacy payment system called SWIFT, paging Iran, paging Russia. We've seen Canadian truckers and Dutch farmers have their lives frozen for peaceful protesting of draconian laws by their government. And remember, laws are there to uphold safety of the citizens. That's it. That's really what they're there to. It's a two-way street with government. Rights come from God. They do not come from government. Period. They come from above. They do not come from government. Government's lucky that we let them do anything at all with any of our rights. We give them the consent, not the other way around. This raises a critical question. If the leader of the free world can be silenced or nuclear superpower, do you think you are safe? Let us ask the Canadians, the Dutch, and Australians what they thought of the last 3 years. As history has taught us, not standing up and saying something in the face of evil is itself an act of evil. Therefore, and again, read some Dietrich Bonhoeffer, which I've got his book around here somewhere. Incredible stuff. We have to learn from our past, or else we are doomed to repeat. Therefore, it is our duty as moral and ethical people to take a stand against evil. Fortunately, with platforms like Nostr and Zion, decentralized social media apps like we have there, and Bitcoin, decentralized money, we have a path away from censorship. The life raft slowly floating away from the sinking Titanic we've been speaking about. This opportunity arose from the chaos and disorder we experienced over the past few years. And Bob Proctor, we talk about this all the time here. Bob Proctor has taught us from great chaos comes great opportunity. Great disorder comes order. And that's what we've seen. We've seen many bad things happen for our freedoms, our rights, our liberties, but many good things have sprung up. Entrepreneurs, people fighting, educating people, doing what we're doing here, and then also creating platforms, creating companies to make sure that these things never happen again. However, the fight for freedom and liberty is far from over. As the saying goes, at the end of financial systems, empires collapse. And it will get worse before it gets better. Again, history has shown us this. This is not me saying this. This is history showing us as a guide. Things will get more polarized, more divided, more hateful, more unrest as people see the walls closing in but can't quite pin what it is that's going on. It's the government. It's the economy. It's the money, stupid. That's it. They've stolen your time and energy. They've broken the money and taken it from you. And then they've told you that it's your neighbor's fault. They told you it's a person with a different skin color. They told you it's a different gender. It's their fault. That's how this works. Those in power continuously attempt to limit exit options. Capital flight, choke point, Operation Choke Point, which were going on, happened under Obama, now Operation Choke Point 2.0 coming under Biden, and choke off any freedom and liberty that may threaten their currency or power. And Christine Lagarde has talked about this too. If there's an escape hatch, people will find it and take it. And Bitcoin is that. Nostr is that. Zion is that. Decentralized, uncensorable, immutable, incorruptible platforms. However, by leaving the legacy monetary system and choosing to save in Bitcoin, in a finite asset instead of an infinite asset or an infinite liability, instead of choosing to peacefully protest and say, I'm going to save in a money, the truest, hardest, sound money we've ever had, in something that's going to give me more purchasing power over time, over 5, 10, 50, 100 years. I choose to save in that rather than an infinite currency that's just printed into oblivion and will be littering the streets someday. You are peacefully protesting the insanity of our political system and the polarization and division we are suffering through. And things will become better because of it. You fix the money, you fix the world. And here's Jerome Powell himself, our illustrious Fed chair, just like Janet Yellen, Ben Bernanke, promoting and posing for Bitcoin. Be your own bank. It's a good look on him, right in front of Silicon Valley Bank. Thought it was a nice meme. Metcalf Law. The power of a network grows exponentially as the number of people who join the network grows. Thus, by choosing Bitcoin, which cannot be censored, stolen, or lose purchasing power, we are challenging the status quo. And people are, oh, Bitcoin goes down. No, it went down in fiat terms. That's because fiat is violently swinging because of interest rates, because of quantitative easing, because they're printing more currency. Bitcoin, one Bitcoin equals one Bitcoin. There'll never be more than 21 million. When you start denominating your life in Bitcoin, everything changes for you. It's a control experiment. It's an experiment with no variables. Then you start to really understand what's going on. We shared this in our market update as well. We show this all the time. Here is your life on the dollar divided by Bitcoin. If you're saving the last 5 years in Bitcoin, it's crushed the dollar. Look at that. I mean, that right there shows you how poorly, just in the last 5 years, the dollar is doing. Absolutely getting throttled because the dollar is infinite. It's getting debased. And the Bitcoin only has 21 million. There'll never be more. There'll be less and less over time, meaning the part that you hold, the Satoshis you hold, will get more and more valuable over time. And humans always find the hardest money possible. Gresham's Law. So humans always find it. It might take a while. It might take 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40, 50. But we know they find it. That's inevitable. So, thus, by choosing Bitcoin, which cannot be censored, we are challenging peacefully the status quo. The entire monetary system is built on confidence, a con game. A fiat system built on decree and narrative. A fiat system with inflation is like playing a sporting event with referees who are parents on their team and also betting on the game. Good luck. All wealth and advantages accrue to them and where they benefit. If people stop believing in the monetary system, it's over. No amount of power or military force can force anyone to use a monetary system once it's collapsed. Imagine if just a few percent of people wake up tomorrow and decide they all wanted their cash back. The entire system, the banking, credit, everything collapses. Credit cards, gas out of the pump, done. Because it's backed by nothing. It's backed by fiat, by people flapping their gums. It's backed by narrative. Think about that. You're holding something that at any moment can be gone. This has got to be the wake-up call. As this progresses, and all those who believe in freedom, liberty, and life are sick of what is happening and decide to remove themselves from the system, the entire thing collapses like a house of cards. What if a portion of the Trump supporters get fed up and left? Which probably will happen at some point. Well, flight's out. Done. Vamoose. It's over. So it's probably important to get your wealth denominated a little bit into Bitcoin. And make sure that you're removing yourself from the system, peacefully protesting the system. Because we continue, you cannot, as Jeff Booth says, you cannot fix our reality from the current system. You can't fix our current system from the current reality. You can't do it. So we have to spend time and build the system we want to see. You cannot do it in a system that's broken and being controlled by the puppeteers at the top. The ability to, they have the ability to constantly tax you directly and then inflate your currency away, stealthily tax you, and take that time and energy they stole from you and then distribute it wherever they want. Campaigns, hashtags in an end zone, anything they want. Protests in the streets. This is what can be done when the people at the top have the power to take your time and energy at will and then sprinkle it back into propaganda wherever they see fit. NGOs, associations, activist groups, weaponizing the Justice Department, weaponizing the IRS, weaponizing all these things against you. This is why you can't get out. This is why you feel so alone. This is why you feel so scared, because everything is pointed at you. Instead of working for you, the government working for you, and everything in the system working for you, it's all working against you. And it's because we've let the money be broken, and we're letting a few people at the top, globalists, the Fabianists, the communists, the socialists, as evidenced by all the books we share all the time, run this game on us. Here's a list of some of the sneaky secrets of the monetary system that the average person may not know. And once you understand these things, again, it becomes very clear. It's fractional reserve banking. Banks only need to hold a fraction of the deposits made by their customers, allowing them to lend out the remaining funds and earn interest on them. This can create a multiplier effect in the economy, but it can also lead to instability and financial crises, as we've seen. Fiat currency. Most modern currencies are not backed by commodities like gold or silver, or they're not Bitcoin, obviously, but are instead fiat currencies that are only valuable because they are backed by the faith and credit of the government that issues them. Hello? The system allows for more flexibility in monetary policy. Again, if you're not using Bitcoin, gold and silver, that is the case because gold and silver can't move over space easily. So it gets centralized, and then we have to issue fiat currency on top of it. But it can also lead to inflation and currency devaluation, which is largely what it does to accrue power to the people at the top. That's it. The Federal Reserve, the U.S. central bank known as the Fed, controls monetary policy by adjusting interest rates and buying or selling government securities. Its actions can have a significant impact on the economy, but its decisions are often destructive to the average person and enrich the owners of the Fed. Yes, the owners. The Fed is a private organization. It's not federal. It doesn't have reserves in it. They create currency out of thin air and steal from you and I. They drive the price of the bonds up by buying bonds. They drive the price of stocks and real estate up by using their entities like BlackRock to buy them out of the market. And then they get enriched at the behest of us. The debt-based economy we live in is built on debt, with individuals, businesses, and governments borrowing money to fund their activities. This can lead to a cycle of debt and interest payments that can be difficult to escape, especially for those with low incomes or high levels of debt. In the international monetary system, the global economy is interconnected, and the monetary policies of one country can have ripple effects and do around the world. The dominance of the U.S. dollar, the Triffin dilemma we find ourselves in, as a reserve currency, and the role of international organizations like the International Monetary Fund, the Bank of International Settlements, World Bank, etc., can also shape the global monetary system in significant ways that enrich those at the top and leave the people holding fiat enslaved in debt. Now that we know the evils, I come back to the beginning of the missive. What can we do now that we know the game being played on us? There are answers out of this madness, believe it or not. Fix the money, fix the world. Change isn't always easy. As Alvin Toffler said decades ago in his book, Future Shock, that those successful in life must be good at learning, unlearning, and relearning. Stay strong. And again, this is never financial advice. This is only freedom advice. And this is how to get started. Your bank account's frozen. You're looking how to get started. This is a very quick, within a couple minutes, you can be up and running with your own bank account, owning and transacting in Bitcoin and denominating your life in that Bitcoin life raft, moving away from the sinking legacy fiat Titanic. Guys, the change is here. Please share this out. We have to, the faster we get this system and everyone on the life raft, the less pain we need to suffer. Because there is massive pain coming in this fiat crumbling system. As you can't see it, the culture wars, the lack of God, the cultural gut rot, the crumbling cities, the mental health issues, the broken currency, the broken political systems. Guys, it's all here for us if we want it. The Bitcoin life raft is here. Fix the money, fix the world, and it starts healing everything and constricts and suffocates that old world so it has no power. So I appreciate you listening in. This is not freedom advice, it's not financial advice, it's freedom advice. Question everything with boldness, even the existence of God himself. Please. And I thank you for coming to my TED Talk. I appreciate you, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one.